We are not losing our future to a war. We're losing our future to convenience. This is Afterlife. This isn't really a video about DVDs. It's a video about what it feels like to live in a world where nothing is meant to last. Is it worth it to keep things, even when the world tells us we don't need it anymore? A DVD, a book, a record, it is not just a storage for the art. It is evidence that something, at some point, existed outside of the cloud. It's something you can touch. It's something you can hold. It's something you can lose. It is something to anchor you back to reality. Physical pieces of media are time capsules of the past. Color palettes, fonts, pictorials of imagined worlds. A DVD, for example, gives art weight and context in a way that the art deserves. There is a message in every medium that is simply lost when digitized. Physical media can survive without digital permission. Collecting physical media is an art of personal curation. It is an ode to a time when memory once had weight, on shelves and in storage units, collecting dust. Now, memory is floating, almost invisible, easily rewritten, easily deleted. Physical media doesn't have to refresh itself to stay relevant. There was and is a ritual to opening a case, feeling the disc, and the click of the case, pressing play. This small ritual teaches us to slow down. There is no need to skip to the end of all oblivion, to the ghostly clouds of digital nothingness. Digital content is ephemeral, fleeting, transient, and fragile. Digital infrastructures could collapse at any moment. Physical items are vanishing because they've decided that it is no longer profitable to remember. And although there is the obvious perk of easy access streaming, it is a disservice to limit ourselves to someone else's supply. We let corporate fingers mold our consumption of art and culture at the whims of their dollars. They turn our preferences into a gimmick, and we become willing tools in a corporate money grab. Do we really want to live in a world where corporate giants persevere and artistic innovation is discarded at the click of a button? In this way, they get to decide what survives. The digital feels eternal until it doesn't. The digital feels eternal until it all goes dark. Our bodies understand texture, weight, and presence. When we hold a physical item, reality answers back. Owning a DVD says, I don't trust the cloud to remember this for me. This isn't just nostalgia, but perhaps a prepping. Digital dystopia is perhaps not just a fiction tale of movie lands, and maybe the end of the world doesn't happen with a boom, but instead quietly, slowly, and in all these invisible ways. What else will we let disappear? In Zygmunt Bauman's book, Liquid Modernity, he describes a shift in modern life, from solid to liquid, fluid, uncertain, fast-changing conditions, where our identities, institutions, and relationships become temporary, constantly living, never still. This liquid sense of society brings a strong sense of insecurity. It encourages a massive decline in stable human connections. Trending phrases such as, "you will own nothing and you will be happy," are dystopic and alarming. This is creating a world dependent on digital surveillance and loss of property. It ignores our human attachment to what we own, our emotional attachment to what we possess is robbed. An enriched life is a life felt through touch. These little rituals of going to a movie shop, a record store, and bringing home an item helps rewire our brain back to physical life. These objects are symbols of what we like, what we yearn for, and what we want to feel. Looking outside of the digital cloud for art and culture is an ode to the rare and to the esoteric, finding and preserving things that haven't been exploited through the repetition of our human works. To preserve physical media is to preserve the documentation of human efforts and creativity. It feels preposterous to consider that one day we could be locked out and the internet could vanish, but it doesn't mean it won't happen. Perhaps a fiery end of the world apocalypse never arrives, but maybe the world is ending in a different and more subtle way. Perhaps it is slightly quieter in a bureaucratic destruction of human life. A disposable simulacra of our nature. A slow disappearance of the tangible. An unceremonial erasure of culture. Physical media is a small protest, a small act of resistance to preserve how things feel. What does it mean to remember nothing with your hands? Will future generations know our work? Can we trust the future to remember? After all, what survives when systems don't? Physical media is not just about nostalgia. It is a collective rejection. A collective rejection to let memory become temporary. No matter what happens to our world as we know it, when we hold tight to our physical items, it is our small act of preserving, not just of the past, but of our attention. So maybe the end is coming. The least we could do is put on a movie, relax and enjoy before the final disappearing. This is what I keep for when the lights stay on, but the world doesn't. You'll understand when it's gone.